Bink. Bink. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another. I don't know what the hell you want to call it anymore, man. Another rant, another session, another episode, podcast, whatever it is, man. We don't really know what the hell we're doing, but we're having a good time doing it, and that's really all that matters, right, Bear?
That's it. Kicking up some dirt.
Kicking up some dirt. So, I guess we gotta start by saying nothing you hear tonight is fact-based. It's all opinion. If you hear something that interests you, look it up. Google it, man.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Sure. It's out there to see for now.
Reading is fundamental.
I don't do a lot of reading. I got this cool thing on my phone, and I did it by accident. But I got this little arrow button on my home screen, and it follows me everywhere. It just stays on the screen no matter what. And if I push it, I can play whatever's on the screen. So all my news articles and everything else that I read, I just hit play, and you can I do it in a second, so it goes half speed, 1.5, 2. I do mine at 2, where it's like speaks really fast because now I'm accustomed to listening to it, so I can listen to everything in speed too. So I blow through my articles and all my I was telling you I was reading those articles before, like government.
And you can
stuff.
rewind it and stuff?
Only to a certain point. You can only go back so far.
All right.
So the problem with going at speed 2 is that you have to.
Yeah.
You can't go
What
back
is it?
so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Missing context. Happy 420, everybody. Jimbo, don't partake. Drug test at work, you know. So we're drinking some Bud Light. Tonight.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
A couple of mixed nuts.
Yep. So I kind of thought we should do some. In honor of 420, we should talk about some stupid news.
Oh, okay. I can dig it. Let's go.
So I read something today, actually just this morning as I was fucking having coffee. They're saying, you following the Trump trial at all?
No.
No, me neither, but I read the article talk about how he's farting in the courtroom.
Really?
Yeah, and that there's a weird odor coming off him and stuff. And I couldn't help but think, man, that's fucking gangster. Like, the guy's just bored. He's falling asleep and shit.
Yeah, it's nerves.
But do you think he's sitting there like that's just chuckling to himself like I would?
I'd be eating some Burger King onion rings with that zesty sauce on
Oh,
purpose
fucking
before
right.
that.
What
With
gives
the White
me those
Castles.
guys? I seriously think it's on purpose because I just think I just think that's his personality. Like, that's the only way he can win right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's the only way he can say to himself, like, I got him. You know?
Yeah, that's a lot of endurance.
Yeah, for sure. And then remember last time we did a pod here, we talked about just how, and this goes into the thing we talked about a few minutes ago. In New Jersey, there's a senator. I wish I wrote the name down or still had the article. Is pushing for a national menstruation day.
How are we going to celebrate?
I don't know, and I don't really care, but my thought process is this is what we are electing our government to do.
Canada had an Indigenous Day for the Indigenous people, and the federal government got to take off, but nobody else did, so all the banks and stuff closed, but the Indigenous people had to work.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, it's like Labor Day.
They were doing Labor Day and Columbus
Yeah.
Day at the same time. They were complaining in America that they should do Columbus Day and do an Indigenous Day. And I'm like, you guys are idiots. Like,
Yeah.
do you see what they did in Canada?
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like, this is this shit. Like, you know, fucking gas. They're saying is going to be $7 a gallon within the next year. With the wars and all the shit, fucking groceries are through the roof. Fucking car insurance went up. All this fucking shit that we're dealing with, and this is what your fucking politicians are working on.
And the crazy thing is that none of this needed to be.
No, none of it
our
needed
car
to be.
insurance went up because there's an expected amount of uninsured people. And car insurance to begin with was only supposed to be for not human travel, but for the transport of goods. So car insurance was and driver's licenses were only supposed to be for the transport of goods because you were transporting somebody else's merchandise,
Right.
and it had to be insured in travel. We took a knee and said we're going to pay car insurance on every single person, even if we're traveling to go to the grocery store, etc.
Yeah, for your own personal use.
Your own personal
Yeah.
use. So why are we even paying? So we've already lost the war, dude.
But so this is what
We're
brought
fighting a battle that
the
shouldn't
insurance
even
thing.
happen.
What brought this up was, so I get a letter from my insurance company saying that on June 8th they're dropping me
Why?
because I failed to add Jesse, my middle son, to my car insurance policy, and he lives in my household and he needs to be covered by the car insurance policy. So naturally, I call my insurance provider, and just in conversation with her, I said, I really thought that when I added the kid's car, when I bought him a car, I added him to the policy. And she's like, well, I don't see that here. And I said, well, I wouldn't expect you to. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, well, because if this is your fuck up, I don't expect you to admit it to me. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's facts.
Why would I add the kid's car, not him?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When I called and said, hey, I need to I bought my son a car. I need to put it on the insurance. I need to get them all legit. Right? But so then, in conversation, $168 more a month now my car insurance is. So that brings me up to about $700 a month just for the car insurance, which blows my mind. So I said to the agent that wound up calling me back to confirm now that my insurance company isn't going to drop me. I asked him, I said, bro, is this an average car insurance bill? Is it just me that thinks this is crazy? You know what I mean? Help me out here.
Be human for a second. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, no. He's like, it's fucking crazy. He's like, but you ain't the only one, man. So I said to him, I said, well, look, I said, my oldest son's 22. I said, what's the average age of parents insuring their children and keeping them on their policy? And he said, man, mine's 28. And I thought to myself, 28 years old. And he's like, yeah. He says, and I probably shouldn't tell you this, and that's why I'm not mentioning the name of the insurance company. He said, by law, they're not allowed to be on your insurance after 26.
Oh, well, you know what? That's when that health benefits also run out, mandatory for parents to cover their kids now, too.
Yeah. But so here's the kick in the pants. So by law, I can't cover him, right? But if he lives in my house, I have to have him on my insurance policy because he has access to my vehicles.
But you still aren't covered. Because he could be a thief.
But
Because he could be a thief.
So-
I had to explain this to my son when he.
so here's the process, right? So I said to him, he was a nice guy. I didn't have no issues with that. I've been with this insurance company quite a while. I said to him, I said, so how much would it be for Jacob to get his own insurance policy, right? And then I can drop him off of mine. I'm the kid's 22 years old. He
No, but
works
you
a
have to have
full-time
it 'cause it's in
job.
the house.
Huh?
You have to keep him on there because it's in the house.
Yeah. So even if the kid has his own car insurance, with his own car, paying his own bill, I still got it insured because he lives here.
So you're getting banged on insurance 3 different ways.
That's just fucking crazy.
It's asinine. It's insanity.
That is 100%
It's not
insanity.
feasible financially.
Right, that's what I said. I said to him,
It's-
I can't
It's
sustain
stupid
it.
math.
But if he has his own policy,
It's ridiculous.
I can loan you my car.
But because it's in the house.
You can drive my car. You could not even have your own car insurance policy. You could drive my car and you are covered. Because you don't live in my house. Strange.
There's a.
Because I had that conversation with the insurance company one time. They said, well, you have access. Because they tried to do that to my father for me. I'm like, I don't even live there, man. She's like, yeah, but you
They
can
did.
still have access to his vehicle. I'm like, my neighbor has a key to my house in case my kids get locked out. So he technically has access to my cars.
My sister and my mom moved into the house I was living in. We moved out. They moved in. Same last name. My son Joseph, when he got his license, their insurance went up because they still had him in that address. So my sister was like, I need some kind of proof. I said, what if we weren't related? You can't just ask somebody for proof. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, how does this even work?
Dude, well,
You have
they
to
did
prove
it.
the person that lived there before you, who no longer lives at that address, who's registered in a different state, matter of fact, and you're going to have it come to your house. Now, you have to prove he doesn't live there? How do you prove something doesn't exist?
Dude, they did it to my father, man. But they jacked his premium like $5,000 a year for me. And my dad's like, dude don't even live here. He's 24 years old, don't even live here. He lives with his fucking wife and kid.
Yeah.
He has his own car, his own car insurance. And they're like, yeah, but he has access. He just, how does he have access? He don't live here.
It's that brown shirt mentality, man.
But it was, I just couldn't
Prove
believe
your
it,
innocence
man.
after we.
I couldn't believe it. I was like,
You were talking about insanity in the news. There's this 10-year-old boy who threatened to kill students, I don't remember exactly. But they brought him in for evaluation and stuff, and he basically threw it in their faces that he murdered a guy 2 years prior, and it turned out to be true.
at 8.
So because he was 8 years old, they're not going to hold him accountable for it, and they're basically going to reprimand him for being a bully in school and giving terroristic threats. That's what they're going to get him for, and then they're going to send him back to school. The kid murdered someone.
Smart.
So if a child is mature enough to make the decision at 3 months old to become trans, or
3 years old.
to become, no, 3 months old, however old the parent decides that their child
Yeah.
has decided for themselves, right? Jimmy wants to be a Kimmy, or whatever. So that child is responsible enough to make that choice and that decision. But that child's not responsible for a murder. What?
Yeah.
And at the same time, elementary school, middle school, etc., they have books that when they read them on the news to say that homophobic, anti-LG, whatever, these people refuse to, they don't want these books in their schools, but then they're literally showing the pictures of the books with bleeped out images because they can't show them on public TV. And as they read the book, it goes beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
because of the language and content.
Yeah.
But this is in an elementary school, so what they're doing is they're telling the adults it's wrong of you to not want this education in the schools, and at the same time they're bleeping it out because it's inappropriate to speak over the air. Can you talk about two different worlds?
For real. You know what's crazy too is I don't think anybody's anybody's actually anti.
No, they're anti-sex in the school. They're anti. Well,
No, but I'm saying I don't think. But in general, like I don't think anybody walks around and be like, "Yo, I hate fucking LGBTQ people." I don't really give a fuck. I don't want you indoctrinating our children about it.
Well, that's the thing is that under the guise of compassion, you have to educate your child to their ability to choose this lifestyle if they want to, and if you don't educate them to it and allow them to go to school and be taught it, then you're
There's no need to educate them about something that is a problem that doesn't quite exist. It's a small percentage, right?
Well, even that's questionable.
Well, yeah, I guess, but you know what I mean? It's a small percentage of us, right? Of that identify the percentage of people that identify as trans are a small percentage of the people. I rather educate my children about what people in general do
Yes, but there's a common.
than what this certain group thinks we should all be doing. Right? You educate the masses for the greater good of humankind.
So when people don't
Right?
have anything left to fight for, they fight for certain injustices and da justice or that justice or whatever they. So when they haven't had to earn anything, and they have bleeding hearts because they have nothing to fight for, they find a cause.
For sure.
They find a cause, and sometimes that cause falls under a flag. We had patriots that went off and wanted to give their lives for their country because they felt like they had nothing left to give, so that's what they wanted to give. Some of them did it for respect and love of country. Some did it for valor. Some did it, whatever the reason is. Like, but now there's nothing left to fight for. We've said, before, like the easy times make weak men. We're dealing with that time right now where nothing's been earned, no one's accountable, and if I get caught, so be it. But until then, haha. And that's scary when there's no moral code.
Right. There is no moral code
There's
right
no
now.
moral code. We've stepped outside that.
For sure. Well, I don't think we stepped outside the moral code. I think somebody is trying to change the code.
I think we stepped outside the moral code. We're consuming fetuses. We're consuming fetus
Well,
in our foods. Flavonoids. They use stem cells from babies' kidneys because they attach to the flavonoids that we use in our mouthwash and from bubblegum to Doritos to Sprite to Coke. PepsiCo literally had like in high judiciary, like the investors for PepsiCo, the top investors, found out that they were using aborted stem cells from fetuses to enhance the flavor of their foods, and they were like, "Is this ethical?" Look up Obama, PepsiCo, fetal, and it'll come up.
well, it's part of the green initiative.
Yeah.
less waste.
Recycling the babies.
Yeah.
But like they
No,
were
recycling the babies, but get rid of the waste. Right?
Right.
Otherwise, they have to throw it away, go in some
They-
landfill somewhere.
They threw it out because, and it was said that the consumption of human materials was seen as conducting normal business. Conducting normal business is what the technical word
For
is.
them, yeah.
So we might not, but we're living pretty barbaric when they can keep a fetus post abortion because they keep it alive. 28 days post birth, they can keep it alive.
Oh shit.
28 days post birth, they can keep the fetus alive. Why? So that it's completely viable. So 28 days after it's ejected from the body, it can be kept comfortable while its pieces are harvested.
Yeah, that's pretty sick shit.
And then they're going to use it to flavor the food and not tell the general public about it.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
mad
pretty
cow
sick.
disease? Why did they get that? It was self-consumption. We're going to be doing the same things.
Oh, the
See
cows
zombie
got it
shit?
from
Yeah,
eating cows?
Yeah, the zombie thing. Look what happens when you consume brain matter from humans. You go insane.
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe that's what's up with fucking Joe Biden. His uncle was eaten by cannibals, he said. That's some more stupid news. Bro, did you
Reverse
see that?
telepathy.
Holy Christ, man. I tell you, we are... So you were saying about... So we're going to get a little personal. Like, since that shit with the phone scam, man, there's just been a series of bad shit that's been happening, you know? I crashed my truck. Fucking, I don't want to say I was broke, like, but, you know, they fucking hit me for a good chunk of money. It hurt. Things are getting back to being a little bit better. I've ordered the parts for my truck this week to fix my truck. But I started getting in this, like, funk, man. Like, fuck. Like, just hating life, you know?
Suffocating.
And maybe suffocated a little bit, I guess. Just, you know, every little fucking thing bothered me because I was just stressed, right? And then I started thinking about, I'm listening to some podcasts, and they were talking about how many bombs, it was some like 13 or 1,400 bombs or something they sent into Israel, Iran did.
Yeah, 10% made it through.
Yeah. I thought, fuck man, my bullshit is nothing compared to what the people over there are dealing with. And I don't give a shit what side of this, whether you support Hamas or Israel or Iran or Pakistan or any of them. Those people have lived through some shit that seriously, when you think about it, the LGBTQ fight, it's really not a fight, man. There's people that are literally ducking from bombs right now.
And if you happen to be from that community and you're over there, you die.
Well, that too.
Quite simply, so it's very odd that they have a pride flag and a Palestine flag next to each other.
Yeah. Gays
They've
for
taken the
Palestine.
American
Yeah.
flag down, the United Nations flag down.
Yeah, well, that's what that dude in Canada said. He's like, yeah, he's just send him over and see what happens to him there.
Go hang out.
Yeah, go on over to Palestine.
See
With
how
your,
your
with
unity
your,
works
with your
out.
gay flags. He's like, you won't last long. You know?
I do know.
But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes we get so wrapped up in shit that really don't even matter, and then we let bother us, and it's like, fuck, man, there's...
When you got nothing
There
to
are
fight
other-
for, you create an issue.
Right.
And we're trying to answer questions in scenarios where the scenarios shouldn't even be in factor. They shouldn't be part of our life.
No.
Kids shouldn't be sexualized.
No, absolutely not.
And parents should have the right to raise their children.
For sure.
And children shouldn't feel empowered to own their parents and to turn their parents in. Like, it's a very weird time.
Turn me in, man. Take them. That's what I say. That's what my father
Well,
said.
what's scary is the kids don't even know what they're asking to be taken to. There's just
Again,
a resentment towards their parents.
I'll never forget, man. My father was cutting the grass. It was 7 a.m. drinking a beer. He was working second shift, which was 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. working overnight. Comes home from work, out cutting the grass. One of the neighbors sees him cutting the grass at 7:30 in the morning, drinking beers. They call children and youth. They show up, want to talk to my dad, and he goes, "Can I help you?" And I was young, dude. I was like maybe 4 or 5 years old. And she says, "Oh yeah, we're here because somebody thought it was concerning that it's 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. You're outside drinking beer so early in the morning." And she says they were from Children and Youth, and he goes, "Wait a minute. Are you going to tell me I can't be drinking beer at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning?" She's like, "Well, do you think it's really acceptable in front of the children?" And he calls us all three by name. And we all come running outside thinking it's something good, And he goes, "Pack your shit, you're going with this lady." We're like, "What?" She's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." And my dad said, "Man, I'm a police officer and I work second shift." He says, "I go in 5 o'clock at night and I come home at 5 in the morning." He says, "So 7:30 in the morning I'm out cutting grass because it's my evening."
Yeah.
He says, "I ain't doing nothing different than any of these fucking people here do at 5:30 at night."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's just my shit was off this month because they did rotating shifts."
Yeah.
She's like, "But if you think you're gonna come here and tell me how I can and can't raise my children and what I can and can't do in front of my children, take them."
Yeah. Well, now if you post that on Facebook or whatever you want to call it, the tweet, you're gonna be documented that you did that, and that's how you voice yourself.
Whatever.
Hey man.
Whatever, bro. It's time to man the fuck up, right? Stand up for what you believe in, man. You know, it's funny we say that because I talk to people.
You gotta know you gotta know what you're fighting for.
Well,
When it's something you can't see.
in that situation, my father was sticking up for his right to raise his children the way he sees fit.
Yep.
And that nobody that works for some government agency is
Because
going to
he
come in here.
understood the agency.
Right, you ain't going to come here.
But if he didn't know
and
what he
tell
was
him.
fighting, he wouldn't have had anything to fight for. He would have just said, "Oh well, it's I guess from your point of view, I should be embarrassed right now," or "No, I understand." I mean, like, listen.
Well, because it's part of the
The ass that called
pussification.
you guys
It's part. Well,
instead of confronting me on it right off the bat, man to man. Like, why they bring you in here?
wow.
Yeah, like,
Right. I agree too, and that's me. If I seen you,
aren't you
I don't
upset they
know.
wasted your payroll on some BS call? Could have just found out walking up to be like, "Yeah, actually, I'm not a bad guy. Not only am I like trustable and, I'm an officer, but like I work an odd shift.
Yeah.
So, hey, thanks would be nice, and I do my job well, and I'm just living my life. So, hey, we're good for looking out. I don't have a bad attitude about it, but I appreciate you coming up and asking me. No, instead you brought service in.
Right.
We could have been saving a life someplace else.
Well, the crazy thing to me though is now as an adult thinking about it, bro. I grew up.
But you never thought about it because you knew your dad's circumstance.
I never thought about it because that was just what Dad did, man. Right? My dad never fucking abused us. He never hit us. He never fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was none of that shit in my house from my dad.
You didn't think he was drinking it for breakfast. You knew he was up, right?
Again, at that young of an age for me, I didn't think about it at all.
Yeah. He's a grown man. He's making his own choices. He's doing his thing. It's
That was Dad.
It's Dad.
Right? I mean, everything we did, my dad had a beer in his hand.
Yeah.
I'm sure, which now that as an adult, I think it was kind of a lie, but I'm the youngest, right? So I'm the third. So, it's, the natural progression, right? The first child, there's baby pictures all over the wall.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
second
yeah.
kid, there's a few. The third, there's one or two.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, I was the third.
Yeah, yeah.
So they said, "Oh, we lost all your baby pictures and shit in the flood in the basement." And I'm like,
I ain't beat.
"No, I don't think they did. I just think it was like, ah,
Third kid.
yeah, third kid, yeah, yeah."
I almost dropped him. Did you see that?
Where's Jimmy? I don't know.
He'll be back.
Hey, get your
He'll-
brother or sister and find your brother.
Yeah.
Go find your brother. Yeah.
Hey guys, put these glow sticks on.
Yeah. Put a bell on him.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it was, man. It's
Good
like,
days, good days.
yeah, and it's funny though, dude, because like, now like if you want to smoke a cigarette, you're like, oh shit, I'm at baseball. I gotta go fucking walk 5 miles away to go smoke a cigarette so the kids don't see me. And it's like, I think that's why these kids do the shit that they do is because they're not in it, around it.
Well, not only that, but they see the adults ducking and hiding. Whether it's a cigarette or a vape or whatever else, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. Just
So, all right, here,
I mean,
out of the 3 children, right? Let's say out of the 6, because like I said, I grew up 2 houses away from my actual cousins, and we did everything together, right? My mom smoked, my dad smoked, my aunt smoked, my uncle smoked. Out of the 6 of us, I'm the only one that fucking did it. Those are pretty good fucking odds, man. How many of these kids, like, my kid talks about in school, that's all these kids do, run around fucking vaping all day long, fucking hiding in the bathroom vaping.
Yeah.
Why?
Yep.
Because it's an even bigger mystery.
there's a reason why it tastes like Skittles and.
Well, that's true too. I agree with that. But you know what I'm saying? I remember when we were kids.
The stuff's coming from China. It's probably got metal or some other crap in it.
Oh, for sure. But I remember when we were kids.
Graphene or some crap. Micro dust.
The neighbor
Smart dust.
The neighbor kid calls me up. He's like, "Oh, come down, check this out." So I fucking go down to his house, and he's in the basement shooting his dad's fucking .22 rifle in the basement of the house at dictionaries. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I'm out of here.
Someone gonna hurt.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, someone's gonna get hurt. I'm fucking out of here, right? So weeks later, my mom gets a call from his mom, and my mom's like, "Were you down there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And my mom's like, "Were you really?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "And what did you do?" I said someone's gonna get hurt. I'm fucking out of here, and I left. So then when she told my father about it, my dad's like, "Yeah, that's what I would expect him to do." And my mom's like, "Yeah, but why do you expect that?" He's like, "Because I have guns, and it's no secret. They're not locked away. My father never kept it a secret, right? If I wanted to see my dad's pistol, all I would have to do is be like, "Dad, can I see your pistol?" And he would go get it out of the fucking drawer, and he would unload it and hand it to me. You know what I mean? It wasn't a mystery.
Yeah.
It was something we knew. We needed Dad's
We used
permission to
have
fucking
rifle
see.
clubs at high schools. You bring the
South
gun
has
with you.
one.
Yeah, you'd bring the gun with you.
Oh,
to
they don't bring the
school.
gun, but
No, they would
School supplies,
transport it on the school bus to school, and then you put it into the locker at the whatever office when you
yeah.
got to
I used
school.
to carry because we walked to school with my bow and arrow for archery class.
When I was in middle school, I brought a compound bow and hunting arrows
Yeah, me too.
into school. That was in the '90s. Like I mean, you're not too far. We're about the
No.
same time.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got away with all day. The last period, the vice principal was like, "All day, man." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "All day." I was telling everybody all day that he gave me permission to have it at school. And finally, somebody checked in with him to see if it was real. And he came up to me and
No,
said,
I was allowed to, Bear,
I was.
because we had archery class.
No,
for
no,
gym
no, no, no,
class.
no. This was for Halloween. This was for Halloween.
Oh, all right.
I wore a
well,
full outfit with that camo face and
Yeah.
a compound bow with hunting arrows to school for Halloween. And I kept telling all my teachers that he gave me permission. And finally, one of the teachers checked in. So last class was when the teacher checked in. Must have been the period before or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Dude, really? Really?" I'm like, "I know, but that one person didn't check." He said, "You can't bring this shit to school."
Why not?
Because it's a killing device. It's a.
All right.
In New Jersey, it's illegal to own a slingshot or a air rifle without a license. It's a
No.
projectile.
An air rifle too, man?
Air rifle. Yeah, when I lived in New Jersey, I came to PA to buy air rifle. It
Yeah.
was one of my first dates with Marnie. I went to PA because you had to show your driver's license. So I came here to PA, and I bought a air rifle with her so that I could have one because you couldn't buy one in New Jersey without proper. It's a projectile. Can't own a projectile.
Well, you can own firearms in New Jersey.
Yeah, with a license. It's considered a
Permit.
projectile.
Not a license, it's a permit.
Understood. Understood. Oh yeah, Wildlife and Game Treasury sponsors DIE.
DEI, yeah.
DEI
Yeah.
housing and land distribution.
Yeah, yep, we're gonna, start handing that shit out next too. Although I will say, there isn't much that I like about the state of New Jersey when I lived there, but one thing I could appreciate, the organization of Fish, Game, and Wildlife in the state of New Jersey is solely funded off of their fishing license and hunting
Trust
permit
stuff,
sales. Yeah, they take no state funding and they receive no federal funding. They're the only organization in the state of New Jersey that isn't backed by any governmental agency.
Joseph just went up to Tuskegee or whatever it is, the mountain up there in the Gap, and he went up for a walk in there, and him and his friend brought it was female. Him and his friend brought a hammock. I got a space date that before, and they were like,
Wait, because you go for a walk with a female, your boys, you go for a hike.
yeah, and they brought a hammock, so they went like 15, 20 feet off the path, right to where there was a river coming down, and two state
Game warden?
wardens came out and like came down on hardcore and kicked them out for setting up camp.
Did they have a fire?
No, nothing. They were just in a hammock, but they weren't on the path and they weren't moving.
Yeah,
And
man.
Joe wanted to be a game land person,
Yeah.
and I said, "Can you imagine having to be that ass?"
No, but see, that's the thing, man. That's what I say, right? Like,
But
so.
look how young they are. Look how young our state troopers are. Look how young our teachers and our
That's what
doctors
I-
are. Look how
right.
young our receptionists are.
Well, yeah,
Why?
because they got
Because
them.
there's a different mentality.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's that. Well, but we need more people like your son who would be like, yo.
But he wouldn't have a job because he wouldn't get the jab and he wouldn't follow protocol.
Yeah.
And he would see a human being as a human being instead of a person of color or a person of interest or a person of whatever. He'd see a human being. He'd be a special person. And he would be unaccepted. And he'd be ridiculed. And he'd be ousted.
You wouldn't be able to make his quotas.
No, he wouldn't. He's
Yeah.
the kind of guy that would say, I'm not going to say something to the two lovebirds or whatever they are in a hammock that's 10, 20 feet off the trail. I'm not going to say something.
Oh, see, I'm the guy who had to go say something. I wouldn't bust their balls. I'd bust their balls because they're getting ready.
Stuck in a hammock.
Yeah. Do the dirty.
No,
in
but
the
they
fucking
literally
hammock.
kicked him out.
Yeah, that's
Move.
crazy.
All right. No, like we're standing here and waiting.
You should say I'm fishing.
Not allowed to.
Why?
No fishing, hunting, trapping, gaming, anything.
And where is that at?
It's up in the state forest.
Really?
Yep. Because what they did was they zones. When you just hear about how your area's been rezoned and how they changed things, the demographics changed so that it would be an inclusive, diversive, equitable region. So they had to take the racist regions where they have landfills by the cities closer to, etc., and they have to include that with X amount. And now they took the national treasury lands and the national park lands, and they've classified them as protected areas that just haven't been put into effect yet. So now these national parks, they're not going to be allowed to backpack through there because you might step on an ant. It's that simple. That gets into what we were saying before the thing came on about the ocean being considered an entity or its own organism,
Yeah.
but giving it human rights or giving animals human rights. Pablo Escobar, there was hippopotamuses. Hippopotami? What's the proper word for that?
Hippos.
Okay, I can go with that. Hippos. Hippo. Yep, I was right. Pablo Escobar's. Pablo Escobar had a bunch of hippos.
Really?
Yep. And there was a lawyer from the United States that went over to wherever it was that the hippos were and actually fought for the hippos to have human rights. They granted the hippos human rights. The people in the country couldn't do it. It had to be someone from America that did it through a whole
Yeah,
bunch
that's
of
how they caught Escobar?
No.
Oh.
So they gave
Well, that's what you told me they didn't catch him
No.
selling drugs.
they gave the hippos human rights. Human rights, okay? The hippos reproduce. They weren't indigenous to the area. They destroyed the vegetation. They destroyed the habitation. They ran out natural stuff that was indigenous to the area. They tore down plants and ripped up stuff, and they reproduced like crazy. And they're knocking and pushing people out of the areas because they're dangerous. Hippopotamuses will freaking kill you. They're extremely strong.
What's
and
going
they're-
on with the feral pigs in this country?
Yes,
too?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, think about that on
Yeah.
steroids and massified.
Yeah.
So now these things are, but they can't do anything about them because they're the ancestors of the hippos that were deemed to be having human rights. We don't think about this stuff. But like the reality is
Well,
no
I think
matter
about
what
it,
they
right?
did.
I think about it.
How's that?
Well, Charles Manson had human rights, right?
Yeah, he did.
So did those hippos until they fucked up.
Well, those hippos aren't going to mess up because, oh man.
No, I hear what you're saying, but you know what I mean? Like, there is a natural pecking order that, whether it's spiritual, whether it's just ingrained in us, like, I don't know where it comes from, but there is a human pecking order.
All right,
There
I'm going
is
to give an example.
There is a natural pecking order, right? There's God, there's humans, there's animals for our consumption, and then there's bugs, leaves, trees, plants for the consumption of the animals and the creatures that all need to exist so that this whole circle can continue to happen. Correct?
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. There's this little girl I love very much. I held her as a baby, you know, I knew her mom when she was pregnant and everything else. Just amazing, just butterfly of life. But she has an understanding that a lot of the things that happen magically, AI, cartoons, etc. on TV, that those are real things.
Yes.
And I was out in their backyard the other day with them, and she was walking through the backyard, and she wasn't stepping on the little flowers. And the reason she wasn't stepping on the little flowers is because an animated bee from a movie may come to her area, and also the other bees that are in the area might want to get and use the nectar and the pollen, etc. from that plant. And as her mom explained to me on behalf of her, and she explained to me in her own childish way, mind blown, that we moved into their area so we don't have the right to step on those flowers. So not only do you believe in magic, and you're confused on the reality of TV versus reality, like when the show goes away, you have to restart the movie. This is fact. You have to restart the movie for her. Because if they don't restart the movie, she's afraid the characters won't come back on when the TV turns back on, because she thinks they really go away and one of those start to go up at the end of the screen. That's psychological. And then on top of that off, this child is living in a fantasy world where she can't step on the flowers because she's been made to understand, like, remember the Bee Movie with the comic guy?
Yeah.
Right?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah. That movie. What did that do to kids? It gave them a different perspective on bees. But the reality is now when they went to school and they were hit with climate change and the disturbance of the bees and stuff, they weren't taught that our frequencies are messing with them and messing their hives up. They didn't tell them that what we have in our atmosphere is messing with the navigation of the birds and the bugs. They didn't tell us that the pesticides and the GMOs that screw with the foods to make them insect-free mess with the bugs, and now we have super bugs that can kill the regular bugs that we need for the ecosystem and the microbials in the ground, etc., etc. So what? So now this kid's worried about stepping on flowers in her backyard. You know what I said? Good luck when the guy in the lawnmower comes through with the weed whacker, because her hopes and dreams are going to get shattered. She goes, yeah, well, we're going to try not to let her see out the window then. And it's like, wait a second. Hide the reality.
It's funny that you were saying that, because as you were saying that, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, that's really her parents' fault for.
But they've allowed it to protect the child because the child has nothing else to fight for. She's going to fight for the bees and not step on the grass. What she's doing is she's taking a knee to an environment, just like we're going to take a knee to the ocean.
Right,
It's
but,
an organism.
but that's
that
what
we
I'm
can't-
saying. So
and we went to their backyard.
the mom that rewinds the movie before the credits come so that she doesn't cry.
Didn't
because
think she was
thinks
doing
the
harm,
bee-
but she loves her kid.
I agree. I agree.
But she screwed it up
Right.
when the
But
child.
in the same fact that when the
couldn't
girl says,
differentiate.
"Oh, don't step on the flowers because of the bees and the blah 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 blah," mom just said, "Oh, it's okay, honey. The flowers will grow back."
It went too far with the movies.
Right.
It went too far with the. Yeah. There's
Personal responsibility, man. You watch your kid watches a movie like that, and you got like I'm just saying in general, like it all starts at home, right?
It should.
It all starts at home.
But a home is simply a reflection of what happened in the world and how you handle it. If there's no communication with your child to you or you to your child about what happened throughout their day and what they're exposed to, that child will be educated by everything but you. So if you don't know how to address what's going on with your kid, we have generational gaps where there's technological differences, comprehension differences, traumatic differences, gap differences, relational differences, all these differences that we have. And the reality is we're missing that communication. So we don't transfer that information. We don't know how to check. And let's be honest, if you went in and grabbed your kid's cell phone and started going through the Google searches, they're gonna get butthurt. Like, whoa, like you're invading my mind.
That was
It's an
I haven't
extension of
done
my
it.
mind.
I haven't done it to Jacob in a long, long time, and it's been a while for Jesse. But when Jacob first got his phone, man, that was a weekly thing.
But that changed. The parents now don't do that.
I still, again, I don't do it because the kid's 22 years old. But
I never did it to my kids. Is it a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing to do. Is it a bad thing that I didn't do it? So
No, I don't think that's
that.
bad either, though.
Oh, to each their own. But the reality is the education that our kids are getting in school is so far beyond what we're supposed to be able to understand and what the kids feel free to talk at home about. Because they're taught that we're archaic, or that we're the reason for the problem, or that our parents are, or that there's generation. All those things that keep us separated. The kids are being educated the fact that there's a reason why, and it's justifiably so that we're separated. It's up to you to take the stand against your parents. It's up to you to take the stand because they got gas-powered cars and shit all over the environment and killed the coral reefs, etc.
I would love for one of my kids to try and take a stand against me.
You're the average American, okay? What's being portrayed is that the average American is not me and you. What's being portrayed as the average American is, well, evil. Because they're American.
But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, I would
flag.
love.
That flag's hate speech, bro.
Yeah, well, they can all fuck off.
That I don't disagree, but that flag is hate
Yeah.
speech. And when you look at what our country's done and what we've done with our freedom and what we're allowing to happen to our kids for the future, yeah, I care about my kid. They happen to be white because I'm white, but I care about my kid just like I care about the brown kid.
Yeah,
But you
me
can't
too.
say that because if you follow, it's scary. It's scary. Very scary.
I am scared. I'm scared for what's going to happen.
I'm scared the kids aren't going to go into it prepared. I'm scared a lot of adults aren't going to go into it prepared. But like you said before, man, we don't, well, I think we said before, we don't realize what we're up against because we can't see it. We're fighting supernatural. In the end, the emotions, everything, it's all supernatural.
I am curious, scared, nervous about all the illegal immigrants that are coming.
That's all by plan. It's happening everywhere in the world.
Again, though, Bear, just like I said, just like my fucking car insurance being $700 and something a month, I can only sustain that for so long, right?
That's by plan. That's by design.
But
because what's it gonna do? It's gonna break you, and you're gonna be dependent on the government, and your
I'll
family's
never-
gonna get separated.
No, that'll never happen. But my point is, right? Like, if I can't sustain it, what's gonna have to happen? You know what's gonna have to happen? I'm gonna have to get rid of some shit.
You are, but eventually you're gonna run out of stuff to get rid of.
Right.
But if we don't have food at the store at the same time because we only have artificial meat now.
So this is exactly where I'm going with the immigrants. When we have so many that keep coming that don't work, can't work, choose not to work, and support themselves,
not to work.
incentivized not to work, that we have to keep supporting, there's a breaking point.
There is.
I think we're at it.
No. 2 years ago, during COVID, pre-COVID, they were saying if the average income lost $400 for the month, they couldn't pay their mortgage or rent. So if they had that statistic on 40% of America then, it's gone up to 60% or something now. If we're at that point, And now they're saying you can't roll over. They're trying to put it through. You can't roll over your sick time or your personal time that you earn. You can't roll it over to the next. So it's not up to the company or the union or whatever. It's going to be law that you can't basically keep piling that stuff up. So it's not up to the company anymore. It's not up to the free will of the people. It's going to be mandatory that you can't roll that stuff over. It's called use or lose it.
So we have a similar policy for me.
But it should be up to the individual company,
Well, I agree.
not up to the government.
It shouldn't be use it or lose it. We get paid out March 1st for whatever unused time that we didn't use
There's a payout.
throughout the year.
Right.
Yeah. That's how it should be.
Right. And
If I can't carry it over, you need to pay it for me. It needs to be paid out. And that was one thing that I did see in that article that it was saying about it too, though, is if you get fired and you have accrued time, they have to pay you that. You know, if you have 2 weeks vacation with your company and they let you go, they have to pay you the 2 weeks. But so, not defending that law, because I don't think that's what I think is one of the hugest problems. Is government is involved in everything. They shouldn't be involved in private business. Fucking like,
we allow government the role of God.
but they shouldn't be involved in what I can and can't do in my company. Period.
Or your home life, or your private life,
For sure.
or your.
But a private company, they have no
faith
right.
life.
But in the aspect of that, what's happening, I think, is, you know, like 48 or 52%. It's a huge number of people that actually in this country actually work for the government. There's a lot of our population works for the government in some shape or form.
The Manhattan Project, you know, the bomb, right?
No, I don't know about it.
The whole Nagasaki meltdown.
Yeah.
Okay, they put that project together. It was called the Manhattan Project. Okay, there was 160,000 employees involved with that back then, and they stayed under the radar.
But
160,000.
so my point is, so now you have
That's nuts.
right now you have a
That's
mass
one
amount
project.
of people,
Yeah.
that work for the government who have
Doctors.
vacation time or sick time, right?
Yeah.
That it just keeps rolling over. My father was technically on the job for 2 years after he retired because he used all his unused sick time, vacation time they never used. They just have to keep fucking paying him, and he wasn't going to work. And the last week that his fucking check was up, he went and handed in the shit because he was still technically working, but he wasn't. So that bankrupts the city and the fucking pension systems and shit because these guys are.
You get taxed. Well, you have to pay a car insurance, but you get taxed on your car when you buy it. You get taxed when you put the gas into it. You get taxed on your roads with your tolls. You get taxed on the work that you do. Your business and your company that you work for get taxed on everything that they purchase and they bring in, they produce, they manufacture, they ship out, whatever it is. Then you have to get back home. You pay tax on whatever it is, the clothes, everything, blah blah blah. Then you get home, you get taxed on your land, taxed on everything that's in your house, and it's all going up. There isn't a place in your life that you're not taxed on. It's not like how many times can you re-tax the same thing? And then they introduce 401k because they know Social Security is going to get burned out, which they're changing all that stuff now. So you and I are paying into Social Security now. That's never going to come back to us. They're telling us that, and it's going to be under the guise of give it up to somebody that you can't see. Same thing you were saying before about the migration.
Yeah.
Why all the country's getting flooded with migration? Because if you can murky the waters with enough of the unspoken, undocumented, now everybody's going to have to be put on the same playing field and we're going to have to do a restart. What's it called? The Great Reset.
We see
What?
Venezuelans, all the Venezuelans that are coming here.
Yeah, but why
We're
are they
legit
coming here?
flying them. You see their prison population dwindle by like.
And what are they doing? They're
64%?
getting Pennsylvania just got all the bust. They got flown in
to Penn
to
Station,
Pennsylvania, and then bust on purpose.
to New York. But they're coming from Venezuela, and the Venezuelan fucking prison population is down some crazy percent. I thought it said 64%, but don't quote me. Look it up.
And what happened to Venezuela? The United States went in there. We were supposed to work magic.
But
Their
my point is,
infrastructure.
they let all their criminals over.
Yeah.
They're sending everybody that
We
was
do
in
remember the
fucking
videos of them
prison
eating out of
cell.
dumpsters and stuff a couple years ago, right?
The what?
We do remember the videos of them eating out of dumpsters and stuff a couple
Yeah.
years ago, right? It's the same people.
For sure.
So they're running to something better, I would assume? America?
Yeah.
Or were they incentivized to come?
Well, so
They
think
have
about
checkpoints, so if they're getting
it.
collected,
Think about it though.
the thing
So,
about this, if they're getting collected in another country and brought here as a group to a destination,
what are
and
they
then
being
whether they have a
promised?
TikTok app or something else, they know where to go. Then they get, let's say they get brought to California, or they get brought to New York. If they want to go to the other coast, not only will they get transported for free, but they can request the way that they're transported, bus or plane. Who's paying for that? And why do they know that that's available before they even get here?
Well,
They're
so
incentivized.
here's my thought process. As if I was one of them from Venezuela, right? Like it's a bankrupt place, right? Their money's worth nothing there, right? So, like it's going to be here soon too. You work, and can never get ahead. So then one of your family members
Sound
goes
like
to
Rihanna.
America. Huh?
Sound like Rihanna.
What?
What are you telling
Oh,
the girls
work,
to do?
work,
Work.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, so then, one of your family members comes over on one of these fucking immigrant ships or whatever the hell you want to call it, gets into the system, gets his monthly check, gets his rent assistance, and they all fucking hang out together and they all pool together and they send their money home, and then in 2 years they go back home and never have to work again.
Yeah.
And it never cost them anything to do it. Pretty fucking great plan. Pretty good plan for them.
Keep printing money. Allow student debt to be forgiven, but not the military kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's definitely it's bass backwards.
Why? What's with the military thing?
They're not doing what they used to with the education programs and what you can walk away with job placement and stuff. Diversity, equity, and inclusion have stepped over that completely.
Yep.
So that's my point to that. It's no longer done by.
The funny thing about the student loan forgiveness that they're promising is if there's if somebody wants to clip this up right here, because you know what? These young kids, young adults, listen to me. When you're going to the voting box and you're thinking about voting for Joe Biden because he's going to free up or forgive your student loan debt, read the paperwork, read the bill, because he's not giving up your student loan debt, he's forgiving the interest. So you still owe the money, right? And there's still going to be interest. Read the fine print. It ain't giving you nothing. He's trying to buy your vote. That's what the Democrats are doing. They're trying to buy the young vote by saying, we're going to give you this. There's no such thing as a free lunch, America. No such thing. Everything you have comes with a cost.
It's also enabling them to feel entitled to the free education.
Exactly. Well, so that's my thing.
So I just literally this morning I got a statistic. It was 40%. It was 160,000 people over the age of 60 that owe over $100,000 in school bills.
Yes.
Over the age of 60 that owe over $100,000. 60 years old and $100,000 in school debt over it. 150,000.
Wait, so let's take a deeper dive into this, right? So now a kid graduates. What age should he be graduating college?
Well, I don't know, but how come he can get a loan for school when he doesn't know what the hell he wants to do, but he can't get a loan for a house, can't get a loan for a business or anything else like that?
But wait, so let's continue this, right? So 24, graduate college,
Yeah, okay.
starting life,
Yeah.
right? 24 years old, starting life, graduating college, right? 100,000, we'll say. You know what? Let's be fair. $60,000 in debt. Let's just say
That's
60.
going easy, yeah.
That's going easy, right? $60,000 in debt. What's it cost for a 24-year-old kid to start a car insurance policy?
Yeah, $3,000.
$3,000, right? $400 a month for car insurance.
Yeah.
There ain't no car out there for less than $500 a month now. We are setting these people. Somebody is setting these kids up to fail. We are being set up for failure. That's exactly what's going on here. We're being set up to fail. Because
What's that failure though? What's the failure? What's the context of that? I'm telling you, I still stuck on a supernatural thing, man. It's about our souls. This life don't mean shit.
and I agree, but my point is,
They're after souls.
you as a father want to prepare your children so that when they go out into the real world, they can handle it, right?
Yeah, this world's gonna fail them. I want them to see the spiritual nature of things, so that when they see the
For
world
sure.
failed and this body is
But
taken,
we are setting them. Our society is setting young people up to fail.
to fail in this world. in this world.
In this world.
Right, so that's why I'm worried about the spiritual nature, because
Right.
this continues on. So if we can point out the evil that's going on in the world and say, this is where we fail. This is where we say, God, take a walk. God, we don't need you. God, I'm better than you. God, I know better than you. We don't need God anymore. This is what happens to a world when you dismiss God, to be honest. Can there be good without God? Yes. But is there most definitely evil without God? Yes.
Well, so that's why I think we go the easier way is the evil path, right? It's easier to be bad.
Does it? Okay.
Is it easier to sin?
I don't know. It depends on your perspective of life. Because what's the penalty? The penalty of sin is death.
All right, but
So if
the penalty of sin is death, but not in this moment, not at the time of the sin, correct?
no,
I'm not gonna die right
no,
now.
No, that's where conviction comes in.
Right. So you're a married man. I'm a married man. When a beautiful, young, sexy woman says, "I want to fucking bang the shit out of you right here, right now,"
I see a spirit in front of me that's looking for some trouble that wants to cause my girl to hurt.
Correct.
I don't want to make my girl
correct.
cry.
But that's an easy sin, no?
I don't know. I just see I was different. I was never like that.
Right. But my point is,
I
that's
was-
an easy
I don't
path to go down, right? It's easier.
Not for
It's
me.
easier.
It's really not. It never has been for me.
Oh, good for you, man. I've never done it either. But my point is that it's.
No, I just mean even before I was married, even before I was with her.
But I'm just saying, in
You know
general,
what I mean,
man,
yeah.
it's easier. It's easier to do the not to do the right thing normally than it is to do the right thing. You know,
I don't know. Again, I think that's perspective. How you looking at it?
it's
you're
easier to
looking
go
at
out.
me and
It's
you-
easier to go out tonight and spend $400 or $500 at the casino or whatever your vice is on fucking parts for my bike than pay the rent, ain't it?
Yeah, but you pay for it.
At first, for sure, eventually,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's my point. We're setting these kids up to fail. We are giving. We are
I
not
agree.
giving. We are not nobody. And I say we. I mean, I don't even know. I should even say we, because the system is designed for them to fail.
You know what I learned recently? if you have like a doctor or ESQ or whatever it is before or after your name, that basically gives you the right to not get questioned. Like, I have a doctorate in this. That means that whatever I say goes, because you don't have this piece of paper. Like, I know I've told you this, but like I didn't go out learning things because I wanted to have a diploma or a degree or something that proves that I know it. I wanted to obtain the knowledge because it interests me, and I was curious.
Sure.
So, I take a bunch of classes or seminars at MIT, and I can learn a whole bunch of stuff. Doesn't make me smarter. Okay, so whatever. But what am I going to apply that to? But when I look at the nature of things, and like we were talking before about the medical stuff and auras and all that, and being able to read it,
Yeah.
I see things differently because I went and I listened to those seminars from the college professors, and they're talking about cutting edge technology that's being done in their school or around the world, and how their school's studying that at that exact moment in time, and it's like they're telling us about how they're socially manipulating us through movies and about propaganda. Like, they literally have an act where they enable a propaganda act for the United States military to utilize the news to propagandize it to control the American population.
Oh yeah.
What? Really big? Yeah, look it up.
For sure. I actually looked it up. I heard it on something somewhere. I was listening to a reading or something, so I looked it up. Bro, there's a whole list of movies that were actually funded and produced by the
100%.
CIA.
Not artifacts and proof. I'm gonna go to reference sites. And I'm gonna go to propaganda. Propaganda.
We're getting away from stupid news, though. What else you have that was stupid? I guess the stupidest thing is that we are legit, dude. For real, we're legit setting our children up to fail. We're not rewarding them for the fucking hard work and effort that they put into things. We're creating entitlements. What happened? I just need a little breathing room, Joe. Right, Joe? Right, Pop?
Yeah.
My grandpa used to say, just need a little breathing room, Joey. Just need a little room to breathe.
Oh, here it is. It's called Operation Earnest Voice. Look it up on the military. Propaganda laws in the United States. I dude, my glossary thing that I have is insane. It's absolutely Operation Earnest Voice is an astroturning. Wow, I can't pronounce that. Campaign by the U.S. government. The aim of the initiative is to use sock puppets to spread pro-American propaganda on social networking sites based outside of the U.S. And then it goes into further and it goes into about what they're doing in the United States. But they call them sock puppets because they're literally got their hand up their butts and they're making them talk. That's why when you see those clips where it's like local news and then it shows like 800 different news blurbs of local news and they're all saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But then the same thing when you go to Google and you look something up and it says 46,000 finds and hits and you look and it's the same 3 news outlets to all these local groups. It's the same message. Hand sock puppet. Look it up. I just gave you the information to look up. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's true.
Propaganda.
Well, I mean,
Mind blowing.
you could just look at that based on the fact that there's only 3 countries in the world that's allowed fucking pharmaceutical commercials on TV, and we're one of them.
Go ask your doctor. Go ask your doctor.
Yeah.
Hey doc, you
Right.
get a kickback for this? All right, we both win.
No, but as a young kid who watched, watching TV, I never remember.
They weren't there.
No.
They weren't there. It started happening with Viagra and stuff.
Yeah, Cialis.
Here's the other thing too. We've talked about porn here before. I noticed that
What's all the porn stars killing themselves?
they're probably exposed to a lot of child stuff too. I noticed that when the father-daughter, father-stepdaughter, mom-stepson,
It was COVID.
baseball team on the mom kind of
It was
thing.
COVID.
Was during COVID,
Yeah.
right? It was during COVID. There was a change in the family dynamics and how we were supposed to look at each other, because there was, again, during COVID, a way of understanding sanely and rationally how, as people that don't understand, you should go to other people for help. And the people that think they know what they're talking about are insane for thinking they know what they're talking about, because they're saying the opposite of what the people that don't know what they're talking about are being told.
Well, I think a mom stepson porn and dad stepdaughter was during COVID because that's who was home.
At the exact same time.
They
what
weren't
were we
allowed
doing?
out.
At the same time, what was happening? Men's brains are getting wired to any fantasy that they want fulfilled, instantly looking at it as porn. They're not going to get that fulfillment at home. They're also not going to get a wife to do what a lot of these girls profess to enjoy, and some of them do, but most women, average women, don't know to enjoy that.
She loves you, she will. I'm kidding.
But at the same time, so what happened? Men started taking the blue pill Viagra. Why? Because their normal partner couldn't stimulate them because they're so used to cranking them out.
Yeah.
This artificial
In the
intelligence,
brainwashing.
right?
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
brainwashed. So they had inappropriate looking sex
That's why I only
with
watch
adults and
amateur
children.
porn.
And at the same time, they got the pill coming out. And at the same time, they're locking individuals in their homes so that you got dad cranking one out right next to the son who's got the daughter and the mom in separate rooms. And everybody's in a different bathroom, a different room. They're all doing their own thing. It's madness. And what do you get from that? You get guys with broken dicks. They don't work because their brains are jacked up.
Yeah, from
Because
watching
the
all porn.
supernatural wired him differently. Einstein's brain and neuroplasticity, what do you have? He had more folds in it. That's what was special about Einstein's brain. He was able to process stuff because stuff overlapped more. We're losing the ability to pull things apart, observe them, and break them down for ourselves. And things like looking at porn so much that your dick doesn't work anymore should be an obvious sign to stop watching porn.
Yeah.
Not to mention the content. It's not just like guys and girls getting off together. Like you have girls that look like they're 14 for a reason on there. It's friggin' disturbing.
It is kind of.
And it's advertised and it's pushed.
Yeah, but what's the number one porn search? MILFs.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess that people are missing the nurturing of a mom, and it's been perverted, to be honest.
Maybe.
Same thing with fathers. You got guys putting girls in dog collars instead of spanking their ass because they need to stay away from that crowd, or keep their shirt tucked in or their boobs not popping out.
Yeah.
Instead, they're spanking them because they want to get laid, and it's perverted. Again. If a child has the ability to decide at a very, very young age that they want to dismember, alter, change, chemically castrate, whatever their body, bind their chest or whatever.
What are you saying, Barry? They're propagandizing me through my porn I watch now?
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me? This
Yeah.
is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
man.
time to revolt, people.
Yeah.
You can't leave fucking porn alone?
There was a girl that revenge porn. It was on Pornhub. The boyfriend put out a video that he made of her. It was for the two of them. She went and tried to kill herself. She wasn't successful. They got to her in time, whatever else. Pornhub retracted the video. It went back out again. She successfully killed herself. Okay? They have the ability to stop videos about COVID. They have the ability to stop videos about false information. What's the word? Misinformation. These things, all right? These vocabulary words have been thrown at us. They want to put them out there like that, but they couldn't stop that video of this girl being facially recognized, vaginally recognized, everything recognized. She gave the world the entire thing and the AI system to recognize every single thing about her. Why wasn't her video immediately flagged by the AI system the way that a word can come out of somebody's mouth who's not recognized in a database?
Because it don't make money. Because that makes money.
And it's also the spiritual nature of things. The girl killed herself because she was exposed. The same exact video. It wasn't a second video. It was the same video that came out the first time. It was retracted from Pornhub because she was a minor and because she was exposed, and it was revenge porn, and she didn't give permission for her stuff to be put out in public.
Revenge porn. That's a good fucking title, huh?
It's real. And she took her life. She killed herself because of it. Who's responsible for it? Well, she's responsible for her own actions. Maybe the scum that actually put her video out there and took advantage of a young girl and manipulated her into feeling loved or whatever else.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
If you love somebody, you don't put their picture out for the world to see.
Yeah, because remember that shit? Was it Oprah? Was that the show that it was on? I think it was Oprah.
There's another evil.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I think it was Oprah. Some gay guy came on to confess his love to his fucking, some dude that he was in love with and shit, and that dude wasn't gay, and then he got all, like, blasted all over social media for being gay and all this shit, and he wound up killing himself over it. I wonder how much they paid out on that one.
That's because a man based his life on another man's love for him. What value is that? And I'm not saying just because it was a man or woman.
No, I mean,
man or woman, but you're going to base your life on, so, when a girl breaks up with you, yeah, the heartbreak hurts, but the reality is you have to make a choice on what you're going to do with what happened. We go through divorces, we go through losing kids. I mean, you're
so this was like a gay dude.
I mean, you did it right first time around, but
this was a gay dude who brought a straight guy on to profess his love and all this shit, and all this shit, and fucking tell all this guy, and then everybody thought the straight guy was gay.
Oh, so the straight guy killed himself.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand now.
Because of the backlash from the fucking show that
was this Jerry Springer?
It wasn't Jerry Springer. It was Oprah or something. Shit, yeah.
Do you think she's responsible, or her auditing staff or editing staff is responsible for not making a proper decision and taking into account that the straight man might not handle it too well?
Yeah, I do think they are responsible.
Well, you see kids now and their parents are being held responsible for what the kids are doing at school.
Well, they should be.
Okay.
If they're minors, absolutely.
I agree, but I disagree. There needs to be a certain level of accountability. Because when a kid knows that they can shoot somebody else in the face and laugh about it because their parents are going to jail for it, what's to stop them?
No, alright, you're right.
So that 10-year-old...
You're absolutely right.
The 10-year-old that threatened to kill, that killed 2 years ago, that now... How scared do you think those kids are?
It goes back to what I said before, and what I will always say.
More?
It goes back to what I said before. It all starts with the home, right? Well, because when the kid gets in trouble in school, the school punishes them.
But when the home is not allowed to discipline a child anymore.
Well, yeah, then
that's
it's
a choice.
It ain't a well, it's a choice by the fucking parent, bro.
Well, when the parents have been disabled and the children know that they have the right under the guise of compassion for the kid.
There is no such thing.
Yeah, there is.
Well, I hear you, but
I understand.
if my kid's fucking up
Yeah.
and he ain't getting it, I gotta
Come
fucking
to
make
my
him
door.
get it,
Yeah, I understand. I don't disagree, man.
right?
No, I love you for it because it's truth.
It's truth.
It's truth.
If your kid's
Not-
fucking up, man, it's on you.
But a lot of parents are more sympathetic to the love that allows them to turn around and say, all right, well, I'd rather have them be happy today and they can deal with it when I'm dead and gone.
Do you remember a while back I sent you the video from me recording TV? It was the first 48. I showed you the clip.
I don't think so.
Anyway, it was on the same episode was on last night, and I was watching it with Jesse. And young black kid, 18 years old, gets killed in front of his apartment complex.
Yeah.
So they do the little clip. They show the picture of the victim, and they go into a story, and they were saying, "Oh, 18-year-old, recent high school graduate, father of 5."
Yes. Father of 5 at 18. I remember you sent me that. Yes.
And this newborn was just 3 days old when he got killed. And I fucking watched that shit last night again. It was on a repeat. And my son Jesse was like, "Dad, that kid had 5 kids?" I'm like, "Yeah, at 18.
Is he taking care of any of them?
How is it possible?"
It's not. It's not. That's a lot of pressure.
But how is it possible?
Those kids are all their fathers of their government. The government's that child's father. Every single one of them, all 5
Oh,
of them.
for sure. But I'm
It's
trying to
also
do
the-
the math. I'm saying to myself, like,
It's
it's
also
a
the-
year, right?
It's also the girl's daddy, too.
It's also
the
his
mom,
daddy.
The mama's daddy.
And his daddy.
Yeah. And who's going to pay for that? And that's going to eventually run out.
Right?
That's when we all are equal.
At 14 years old, when my kid came home and said, "Dad, I got a girl pregnant," it's a problem. And I'm not saying an abortion is the answer. I'm saying it's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? We need to solve this.
Yeah.
Right? We need to. Again, I'm not saying abortion because
If you're not
I don't
responsible
believe in
enough
it.
to take care of the kid, are you responsible enough to make the action to take that chance in the first place?
Well, that's the right, and I hope that my kids realize that. But my point is, it's this kind of shit happens, right? Like, it shouldn't happen a second time, third time, fourth time, or fucking fifth time. By the time you're 18 years old,
What was I just saying? That's the same thing. Like,
that's fucking insane,
If
dude.
you know you're not going to be held accountable for it, if you know your parents are going to go to jail because you stabbed somebody in school and it was a kitchen knife from your drawer, your parents are supposed to count the knives every day or something. Do you know what I'm saying? Little Timmy showed aggression. So the parents weren't. This has literally just happened where the child showed aggression, and the parents ignored it, and the kid went into school and he was bullying somebody around or something with social media or something, but it got violent. And they held the parents accountable for it because they didn't hold the child accountable at home. And it was like, well, what you're saying about the parents, like, they're not a psychologist. So you're telling them they should know what's in their kid's head. Where's the child's responsibility and where's the parent's responsibility in? Yeah, you got a certain amount, but when the kid knows that they can point at the parent and go, arrest them. What the hell's the point of raising the kid to begin with?
Yeah, I hear you.
There's a
But-
defeat. Again, that's the trust.
But that
When
school
trust is
shooter,
the-
that school shooter, that last, I forget, the parents just got 9 years.
Again, I know exactly what you're saying. Perfect example.
They
Perfect
should have.
example. Where'd the gun come from? It was dad's, right?
Yeah.
Right. And were there signs of hostility and stuff? I believe they saw social media quirkiness, instability through social media posts and stuff, right? Well, what's going to happen is we have, and I have it saved on here, where social media is being used for homeland terrorism, etc. So they're able to map and connect your posts and its relative understandings and ideologies to your node on that computer system and your avatar, etc. They have that information there. They're not using it for good. They're going to use it to entrap people who aren't going to do the stupid, disturbed things, that predictive programming, the exterior of the cells, all that stuff. That's where they jump in and they interrupt that. Because when that stuff all becomes law, there's no getting out of it.
Yeah.
When you can't run from it. When it's not a human being. and
But
it's
getting
not-
back to the shooter,
Yeah, I
the
can.
kid's parents. I mean, you know
Like
your
Martin says.
children. Yeah. You know.
Bring it in, buddy.
Sentence. Back to your sentence. Find your sentence. No, but so as a father, I know my children, and I don't know that they're gonna go shoot up a school, but I think and I hope and I pray that I would recognize some significant change in my children and get a hold of it before it gets to that point.
But see, you knew everything your kids were exposed to before. Our algorithms feed us stuff that we're exposed to in our daily life, so they're meant to captivate and touch us emotionally or fantastically through fantasy or whatever else. They're supposed to stimulate us and keep us attracted. So the dopamine.
Right.
So
Right,
when your
but
son
they
sees
change. There's a
something,
change in them, right? There's
when
a change in them, whether it's, oh man, you know
mood
what?
or
He was so happy-go-lucky all the time, and then all of a sudden, he started wearing all black and started not hanging out with his friends so much.
music changed and got louder.
Right.
Yeah. Started drinking.
There's gonna be a change in something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So how many people nowadays aren't as attuned to what happened in their household as you
a shit ton.
are? Right. So when those kids
Why?
are picked on in school or bullied through electronic devices,
But why are we so unattuned to our children?
because of lack of trust.
No, we're so unattuned to our children because we're too fucking busy trying to survive and pay for the fucking shit that's so expensive
Okay, I
in
think
this
that's
world
important.
that nowadays two fucking people got in one household got to fucking be employed.
I don't disagree with that, but I still stand
Right?
solid with that trust thing, man.
Oh, for sure, you're
Because-
100%.
Because there's
Right.
That's part of. So we had.
I want to be friends with my children.
Yeah,
Right.
but you're a father first.
Right.
I
We
see
can
that in
be
your
friendly.
relationship.
We can be buds. We can go hang out with your boys.
There's a respect, though.
Right.
Like,
There's Jake came in one night talking his shit to me, just his fucking hip hop street language, the way these kids talk nowadays, and I said, son, I'm your father. Don't talk to me that way. Show me the respect that I deserve in my fucking house.
here's the crazy thing, though. He knows enough to understand the identification of the improper stuff with the proper stuff. So how is he living his life? And he knows to leave it outside the house. So are you an old fogey that he just respects him when you're dead and gone? No, he's already doing it outside of your home.
Right.
So you already know who he is outside and what he puts into his head. And we can hear the music when he comes down the street.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool, whatever, but like there's a mentality that goes with that bumping in the speakers. There's a mentality that goes with the language that's coming out of there.
Yeah.
And with the atmospheric rhythms and tones that vibrate through our body, the harmonic frequencies that we hear about now in music. Rockefeller changed the harmonic frequency tones in our music system.
Well, it goes back to the conversation we had with fucking Oscar when he was here about fucking hip hop, man. Why is it so cool to sing about fucking shooting and killing and drugging and raping and fucking banging and like?
I still don't understand that. But because it's been put up on a pedestal, and those people are called idols that produce that.
On
music.
purpose.
Look at Snoop Dogg sleeping, banging Stewart,
Stewart?
Martha Stewart.
You think he's banging her?
I don't know, but they got some weird stuff going on. They have for a while. They're portrayed to be a couple, and it's sexual. Their commercials can be sexual.
Really?
Hell yeah!
I
It's
never
always
paid
about,
that much attention to him. I just thought it was kind of
Think
like
about
that.
the Bic Lighters commercials, lighting candles together. They joke about smoking weed before it was as it was becoming legal, and they have sexual innuendos. What do you have? You have an old white lady with like mature porn kind of thing, and you got Snoop Dogg who's banging the old white lady. They make it seem like that when they do their commercials. And again, what is it? Younger and older. And what is it?
Yeah, I just
It's-
thought it was more like complete opposites.
There's that game, but when you hear their jokes, what is it? It's sexual innuendos. It's marijuana innuendos.
Supposedly Snoop Dogg quit smoking weed.
That's just before that. When they had
No, I know. I'm
the
just
Bic-
saying. I don't
They
believe
did the
it.
Bic Lighter commercials, and when they went to light the Bic Lighter commercials, she cracked a joke about something, and then he cracked a joke about it. It was in reference to weed.
Huh.
I need my long reach light to get in them candles. Oh, Snoop, what you been smoking? out there in the
I
open.
I never
And
never
I'm
paid
not
that
for
much
nothing. I
attention
don't
to
find
it.
Martha Stewart attractive, but they sex her up.
Oh yeah, well, I thought that when I saw the Martha Stewart swimsuit edition in Sports Illustrated.
Yeah,
I'm
well, I
like,
didn't
are you
notice
fucking for real? Huh?
I didn't see it.
I mean, she was in a one-piece bathing suit. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like, but still, it's like, who's your target market here?
I don't know if that's beautiful, even if it's unhealthy, so it's cool.
I mean,
That's beautiful, even if it's unhealthy, you're gonna kill you.
Martha
Live your best
Stewart
life.
I don't even know how old she is, but she's not an ugly woman.
She's not an ugly woman. No. But what do you have? You have a grandmother figure.
Right.
She was
I
selling
don't
pots
think-
and
right.
pans back before Rachel Ray was
Right.
wiping her ass for herself.
Yeah. God, Rachel Ray, she used to be so hot, man.
Yeah.
Those little titties.
Yes. I'm a little boob guy and a big butt guy.
She had a
She's
nice
got-
butt. Now she's like a fucking.
They, and I joke with my girl about it because she's got a fine everything. They would never, ever, ever get Rachel Ray from the waist down.
She had
In
that
her cooking
fucking
show,
ghetto
'cause she
boob.
had that big ghetto booty and the little
Yeah.
top. I like a
Really?
firm little set.
I don't know. They're
And
pretty
that
small.
bright-
But,
that darker skin, the olive Italian skin or whatever
Yeah.
she is, and that big broad smile. with the-
and she can cook.
and she can cook. She
I
was
bet
cute.
she don't cook at home.
Do you know that they actually, because her voice got really, really raspy and she started like making it squeak and stuff, that the producers actually told her to stop messing with her voice because people were getting sick of hearing her squeaking on TV because she thought it was sexy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I remember her more not from so much the regular.
She's
TV
on our
show.
dog food bags. I kind of hold on to them.
Yeah. Is that your porn? Dog food
Yeah,
porn?
So,
No, but she had that show.
bestiality. Anyway,
She
go
had
ahead.
that show. I think it was on.
Weird
it was
news.
either Food Network or Travel Channel. It was $40 a day, and she would go on vacation and spend $40 a day,
Yeah.
and then she would tip like $1.82. And I'm like, but anyway, words of wisdom.
Oh, wow. I didn't think about this. Didn't
I
think
had
so.
one and I forgot what it was.
Hot diggity dog.
Shit, I had a good one too, and I forgot.
Dog is killing me. Words of wisdom, guys. Anybody got something good?
Yeah, man, guys. Like and share, please. Send it to your worst enemy. Send it to your mom, your dad, somebody you hate. To help us out. And if you got some great words of wisdom, leave them in the comments.
Yeah, I'm here we go. The soul has no secret that behavior does not reveal.
Perfect. So there were signs that that kid was gonna do something evil.
But so it comes to fruition. There should be signs, there should be noticeable signs, especially if you're loved by somebody and they actually pay attention to you.
For sure.
And they're compassionate, have empathy, sympathy, compassion. But the soul has no secret that behavior does not reveal. In the end, it comes out in the behavior, and sometimes that's too late. Sometimes it's already a gun in the hand. And at that point, who's responsible? There should be some type of responsibility for that child, because if that child learns that the parent's 100% responsible, no matter how old that kid is, should there be some responsibility for the parent? We got to look at the situation and whatever. But
Yeah, I
there
think
should
it's
also be
situational.
responsibility no matter what for the child as well. To some point, that child's got to understand that your actions have repercussions. And it shouldn't be somebody else only paying for it, because all we're saying is for the rest of your life, you can act unjustly, and someone else is going to pay the price. So every time you go ahead and kill, each time again, your parent goes even to jail even longer as you run around free. When does that catch up?
Oh, well, I mean, it's the same thing with reparations, right? Like, why should I pay for my brother's sin? Right? Why should I pay for something that you know what I mean? If your brother killed somebody, should you go to prison for him? No.
The self-made man must worship his creator.
So,
Worship yourself.
worship your father.
No, the self-made man worships his creator. I believe I have a creator. If there is no creation, I'm only an accident. I'm my own creation. I worship myself. If I believe I was a creation outside of space, time, and matter, then I have a creator. It's a higher outside of what we understand. So I believe that I answer to my creator, which means I'm less than. So there's a moral code to me from that creator. Versus I make up my morals as I feel like it. Because I'm gonna live my best life today, and if I wanna
Yeah, I'm gonna live my
have some
best
kind
life.
of racial justice and break into a jewelry store that's owned by somebody the same color as me, just because it's the thing to do right
You
now.
know what I love about that term? Here's the words of wisdom. I'm gonna live
Here
my
we go.
best life.
That's disturbing stuff.
It is disturbing.
Why? Again, supernatural, because this is the only thing you have to live for. There's no afterlife. No repercussions.
No. Because
Accountability.
the ones who are saying I'm gonna live my best life today are the ones who have no responsibilities.
They're also miserable. They're also miserable.
I often think, man, I wish I could just walk away from my responsibilities. You know? Wish I could just,
Like deer skin tent, live by the river kind of thing.
yeah. The only one I have to worry about taking care of is me.
Yeah.
But then I think, man, imagine dying that way with nobody,
Alone?
alone.
Nobody wants to die alone.
No, I know that's what I mean. Right. So your best life.
What is life though? If life is that soul. as
Life is
opposed
the
to this
struggle,
physical
man.
body,
That's what I'm saying. And so if you
Yeah.
say that, like if you believe in that there's something afterwards, I think that the struggle that we deal with now and today and on a regular daily
worthwhile.
basis is preparing us for
Yeah.
what's to come.
Because if we shed this body and continue on, this life really is an end.
Right.
But if you have no after, if you have no continuation, if there's no ramifications or if you're not held accountable for your actions in some way, there's no redemption or justification or accountability or anything, then you could just live your best life now, and there's no reason to not slaughter your neighbor so that you can walk out with their produce.
I
We're gonna
mean,
get to
so
that point.
I
When we
guess
get to
that,
food
that,
shortage, we're gonna have to ask these questions.
the sentence "living my best life."
Very self-centered and very up to the individual, and not as a societal thing.
Yes.
It's not society's best interest; it's my best interest, and it's up to the person's own interpretation,
Yeah,
and that's
because
dangerous.
doing your best ain't always ain't always great.
No, because you're out for yourself.
Well, I'm just
Other
saying,
people
doing
get hurt.
in general though, like doing your best, like you can fucking put 120% into everything you're doing and still fail.
Oh yeah.
So doing your best doesn't always mean the best outcome.
No.
So living your best life doesn't always mean the best outcome. Anyway, with that, good night. Oh. Leave a comment, please. Share it.